Am I the only one who drinks coffee like 24/7, like not just in the morning? Comment below. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so today I have kind of like mini story times within like a big video, because I don't really have like really crazy things happen to me. I'm kind of introverted, so I don't really do things. Not a good idea. Don't do it. And this is about all the girlfriends, well, 3 of the girlfriends that I know of that my cousin has had that were kind of sketchy. I am going to say this before I get any farther. Trigger warning. I do make a brief statement about suicide in this. Being in the presence of someone trying to commit suicide and all that stuff. So, you've been warned, and I will warn you again. So, you get 2 warnings. It's the second story, so not yet. The first story. We'll call this girl Abby. Okay. Well, I was living with my cousin at this time. I should say that. And my cousin would do like a lot of renting out room and stuff. So that's gonna become important as well. So I remember that I was living with him at one point, and he told me that he had a girl he was talking to, and that we were going to go up and see her one day. And I will tell you that it was where they lived, or where this woman lived, was kind of like a couple hours away from where we lived, but it was a kind of like a beach area. So I got to take off school for like 2 days, I think. And I was like in elementary. I think I was either in late elementary or early middle school when this was happening. So me and my cousin go there, and Abby ended up having a daughter, and we'll call her daughter Kayla. Kayla's around my age, and we got to kind of like hang out and got to go out to eat, and went back to her house, Abby's house, and just kind of hung out, and it was a lot of fun. As far as I can remember, we had a really good time, and then we went home and life went on. Sometime later, they came down to see us, and I'm pretty sure my cousin and this girl were like kind of like dating now, like they were a thing, and she brought Kayla with her, and it was really fun because they were talking about moving down there, and Kayla was going to go to my school, so it was really exciting to kind of like think I might have someone there like my age to like hang out with, and because I was like very introverted and I didn't really have like a lot of people. It was like really hard for me to make friends, and me and Kayla were getting along, so it would have been really, like I was really excited for the idea that she might go to school with me and I would have had a friend. I remember one day me and Kayla were talking. This is when things kind of started to get a little sketchy. I was talking to Kayla, and we got in the conversation about her mom, and I don't know if I said something or if she just kind of like said something about it, but like she said a different name than Abby, and I was kind of confused. I was like, well, who's that? And she's like, my mom. And I was like, I thought your mom's name was Abby. And she's like, no, her name is so and so. Sorry. So that really threw me off, but I was like, whatever. And then later on, I kind of like asked my cousin. I was like, hey, has Abby said anything about her name being like something different, like, or does she go by a nickname or something? And he was kind of like, no, what are we talking about? I was like, well, Kayla said her name was this. So my cousin confronted Abby, and then Abby got really mad at Kayla. And then Kayla kind of got upset with me for like telling my cousin, and it was a thing. And that evening, they got in like a huge fight, and she ended up like coming into our room like I don't even know, it was after midnight, and telling Kayla that they were leaving and going home. So they left, and I was like really upset because I really thought they were going to like move in with us and like stay there and like go to my school, and I don't know, being 11. And a couple hours, well, no, not even that, it's probably like an hour went by, and my cousin comes in and says, we have to go pick them up, they're lost. So they came back, but they ended up still leaving like the next day. They were in like a city they didn't really know very well, so they got lost, especially it being like after midnight and dark. So they left, and then I never saw them again. Like, I never saw Kayla, I never saw Abby. It was pretty much over, yes. And a couple months went by, and I asked my cousin, I was like, hey, what like exactly happened? Like, did you ever figure out like if her name was actually whatever the name was? And my cousin's like, oh no, yeah, she lied. Her name wasn't Abby, it was a completely different name. And not only that, but Kayla wasn't her daughter, it was her neighbor's kid. And she had like asked to borrow her for like a week to pretend to have a child. And there was like a whole like backstory on how Kayla was her daughter. She said like that she was like, because they didn't really look alike, so I think that's why. And like, I mean, this kid was like going along with it. Like, she told me like I don't remember all the details, but it was something like she was like left on like the porch of Abby's house when she was like an infant, and that's how she was there. Like, I don't know. It was weird. It was so weird. So that's the first story. That was just kind of a creepy one. It wasn't really, it didn't happen. They weren't like sketchy people. They were nice people. They were just weird. 2, okay, this is the trigger warning. Suicide is in this story. So, my cousin had a friend, and that friend had a sister, and we're gonna call her, I wrote down a fake name. I'm just going in alphabetical order because it's easier. I remembered Abby, but Belinda. I named her Belinda. Okay. So Belinda was this sibling of my cousin's friend. Belinda needed a place to live that was cheap because she wasn't really working a great job. And my cousin was like, yeah, sure, you can stay here. You can just rent a room. And he did that a lot. So if that wasn't like kind of like, it didn't really like throw me off because like I was used to him having roommates. So she moved in and we got along really well. She was fairly young. I mean, she was like mid-20s. And I was probably about 13 or 14. But it was really nice to have someone like kind of like older that was a girl in the house because I lived with my cousin only, and there wasn't really a lot of like mom figure, like wasn't really a mother figure around, and I kind of took to her like a mother figure, which wasn't really a good idea. But we got along really well. We would like color together and listen to music, and she'd do my nails and like do my hair and help me with my homework. Like it was really cool. Like she was very, very nice to me. She was very weird though. I remember one time she like showed me her nipple piercings. That was kind of strange. Like that was kind of that was the only weird thing she did like when I was around. But other than that, we got along really well. But apparently she had like a lot of issues. Belinda did, and my cousin one day came in my room. Belinda was sleeping, as far as I knew, and my cousin came in my room. He was like, hey, I need you to go into my bedroom and shut my door and lock it. And I was like, okay, weird. And my cousin had a door, like one, like a regular doorknob one, like the one you have to have a key, not like a regular bedroom door. It was like an actual like lock and key doorknob, because he rented to people. He wanted his room to be locked when he was like away and not home. So I was secure. I was in the room and I was fine. No one could get in unless I kicked the door down, but Belinda wasn't gonna do that. So my cousin had opened his bedroom window, which was in the backyard, had taken the screen out, and he had walked from the front yard to the backyard and was talking to me through the window. And he was telling me and he was trying to explain what was going on. I don't exactly remember what was going on. I remember what happened. I think more because I put it together myself, but I don't remember what he told me. But pretty much what happened was that she had tried to commit suicide by overdosing. But I remember being kind of confused. Like, I kind of understood. I understood that she was not doing well and she could die. Like, it was bad. Because there was also an ambulance in the front yard and I heard it, you know, like I heard it pull up. So that was kind of weird. I didn't see her like taken out of the house or anything because I was locked in a bedroom. But cops were called too, and it was a thing. I wasn't really there for it. My cousin would kind of come to like the window and like update me in pieces, but that was really it. Fast forward, and you know, like those little panels that you can like put on the outside of a garage door and like put a 4-digit code in and it'll like open the garage door. He had one of those, and he changed it with the intention of like keeping her from being able to get inside if she like came back. So that night she comes back and she gets in with a key. And I was sitting out there with my cousin, like on the couch, we were watching TV or something, and she like storms in and just like starts screaming at him, and she screams something along the lines of like, "Do you think I wouldn't be able to get in, huh?" Or something like that, but like really loud. And I was like, and my cousin looks at me and he goes, "Chloe, go into my room." And I run into his room, and I don't really remember what they yell at. They're yelling at each other. I don't remember what they're yelling at each other about. But pretty much he kicks her out. Like, she has to leave. And she takes so much of his stuff. Like, she took DVRs, CD players, CDs, movies. Anything that was in her room she took, even if it wasn't hers. Like, she stole from him. So much from him. It's not funny. It's just, a lot of people did that to my cousin. A lot of people stole stuff from him. But the funny thing is we had, at one point when she lived there, we had colored one of those, you know those big like posters you can buy? They're like black and white, and the black's like fuzzy and you color the white part. They're like in the kids coloring activity section. We'd gotten those and colored them. And she had left one I colored and we had hung in her room, or one she colored, I can't remember. But one of those was hanging in her room that she was renting, and she left it there. I want to say it was mine because I remember it was like everything of his was taken, and if anything was mine, it was kept. Like, she didn't take it. It's so weird. 3. Okay, so this girl, we're going to call her Cindy. You spell out the C, right? Yeah, you do. Okay. So, this is kind of confusing. The last girl I told you about, they didn't like ever like say they were dating. Belinda, like him and Belinda, like they were never officially a thing, but I feel like something was going on there because, and this is why I think that. Belinda was still living in our house when my cousin started dating this girl, Cindy. And I remember it was me, Cindy, and my cousin sitting on the couch, and Belinda came out of her room, and she, like, stormed past us and, like, went out the back door and, like, slammed the back door. And she was pissed. And I was confused at that point in time, but my cousin says that she was jealous of any girl that he would bring home. And he was, like, I'm pretty sure he was dating Cindy at this time. I'm pretty sure they've been talking for a while. I hadn't met her until then. Cindy was like, didn't stick around that long, like long enough to do anything actually crazy, or too crazy. But she, they broke up because she forged a check, and she got arrested for it. Like, he turned her in, obviously, and like she got sent to jail. But she, according to my cousin, that she wound up pregnant in jail. So, that's Cindy for you. By the way, I hope I'm not offending anybody with these names. I literally am just thinking of ABC names just to make it go by quicker. Oh, one other little side story. This is about Belinda and Cindy. Years later, my cousin told me that he walked in on Belinda and Cindy doing things. Just leave it at that. So, yeah, he's had some interesting relationships. And I got to experience a few of them. They're very nice people. All of them were very nice. They just had some weird quirks, I guess. Anyway, I ran out of storage on my cards, so we're doing the outro like this. But if you have any creepy, strange, sketchy relationship stories, whether you dated them or someone in your family or friend group dated them, comment it down below and let me know, because I want to know them. That's it. I will see you guys later. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you next time. Peace.